Welcome back to Monster Legends. Today we are diving into the chilling true story that inspired the latest movie in the Conjuring universe, Conjuring Last Rites. The movie may have brought us haunted mirrors, terrifying exorcisms, and the final cinematic chapter for Ed and Lorraine Warren. But behind the Hollywood drama lies a real-life haunting so disturbing that it left a family broken, a community in shock, and the Warrens at the center of controversy. This is the true story of the Smurl haunting. It all begins in 1974, when Jack and Janet Smurl moved into a quiet duplex home in West Pittston, Pennsylvania. To the outside world, they were an ordinary Catholic family, raising their children in a working-class neighborhood. But inside the walls of their home, something dark seemed to stir. At first, the disturbances were small. Strange noises, scratching sounds in the walls, and unpleasant odors with no clear source. The family thought maybe it was just an old house settling, or even plumbing issues. But soon the activity escalated. Furniture moved on its own. Appliances turned on and off without warning. Deep claw marks appeared on walls and fixtures. Family members heard voices whispering their names. And sometimes the foul smells grew so overwhelming that guests refused to stay in the house. But the most horrifying claims went far beyond bumps in the night. The Smurls reported violent attacks. Jack claimed he was assaulted in his sleep by a shadowy female figure. Janet described being dragged from her bed by invisible hands. On multiple occasions, they said the entity attempted to sexually assault them, manifesting almost like a demonic succubus. Even their daughters reported terrifying encounters, saying they saw shadow figures and felt unseen hands grab at them. Their dog was often thrown against walls or terrified by something no one else could see. The haunting stretched on for years, and by the mid-1980s, the family was at their breaking point. In 1986, desperate for help, Jack and Janet reached out to the most famous demonologists of the era, Ed and Lorraine Warren. The Warrens investigated and quickly concluded that the home was infested with multiple entities, 2 human spirits, a violent poltergeist, and 1 powerful demon. Lorraine claimed she could sense the evil immediately. Ed believed the case was one of the darkest they had ever worked on. They attempted prayers, blessings, and minor exorcisms, but the attacks continued. The Warrens warned that the demon was feeding on the family's fear and despair. The Catholic Church was hesitant to get involved, as they often were in such controversial cases. But eventually, local priests performed several exorcisms. Some seemed to help for a short while, but the disturbances always returned. At one point, the family even claimed that an exorcism only made the activity worse. The Smurls' story began to gain media attention. Newspapers picked up the haunting, neighbors gossiped, and paranormal investigators flocked to the area. Some supported the family's claims, while others accused them of exaggeration or fabrication. Skeptics suggested explanations ranging from hallucinations to stress-related delusions, even the possibility of carbon monoxide poisoning in the home. But the Smurls always insisted their experiences were real and that they were living through a nightmare. In 1986, the haunting reached its peak. Janet claimed the demon appeared as a dark, human-like figure that taunted her and her children. Jack said he was thrown across rooms and pinned against walls. The family described hearing voices blaring from nowhere, mocking them, cursing them, and filling the house with rage. The Warrens pressed the church harder for an official exorcism, but even then, the Smurls said their torment continued. Finally, in 1988, after more than a decade of suffering, the family decided to move. They claimed that after a final prayer service by a local pastor, the presence seemed to weaken. By the time they relocated, the activity had largely stopped. So how does this compare to the movie Conjuring Last Rites? The movie takes inspiration from the Smurl haunting, but it condenses and dramatizes the events. Instead of years of slow torment, the film portrays a concentrated battle with evil centered around a haunted mirror. It also pulls in emotional themes about the Warrens' personal struggles, creating a grand finale to their cinematic universe. But the truth is darker. The Smurl family endured 14 years of alleged torment. There was no neat ending, no single climactic exorcism. Just years of trauma, doubt, faith, and fear. The Smurl haunting remains one of the Warrens' most infamous cases. To believers, it is evidence of the destructive power of demonic forces and the courage of families who stand against them. To skeptics, it is yet another example of sensational stories used to capture attention and fuel the Warrens' careers. Either way, the story has lived on in books, television specials, and now as the closing chapter of the Conjuring saga. And it continues to leave us asking, what really happened inside that Pennsylvania home? Was it truly a demonic infestation? A desperate family's cry for help? Or something stranger, existing in the shadow between belief and legend? What's certain is this: the Smurl haunting has become part of paranormal history. And just like the Conjuring Last rites, its legacy is both terrifying and unforgettable. So do you believe the Smurl family was really haunted by demons? Or was this one more story that Hollywood made bigger than it was? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another tale of terror. Until next time, stay curious, stay haunted.